Hello everybody, I hope you guys are enjoying your day. Today we're going to be looking at Tropical Storm Josephine, which was recently named from the National Hurricane Center as of the 11 a.m. Eastern Time update. So they have updated this into a tropical storm. This is the earliest that we've gotten to the J storm by about 10 days. So the previous record, I believe, was August 23rd, if I'm not mistaken. So we have broken that record by quite a bit, and we are still on pace for a record-breaking season, even better, or we have even more storms than the 2005 season up to this point. So we do have quite a bit of storms that we've already seen named, and we have another one here, Tropical Storm Josephine, which is moving through parts of the Caribbean. It's going to be touching the Lesser Antilles, and then moving into maybe touching parts of eastern Puerto Rico, and then moving northward into the Bahamas, and then it's going to be pretty much out to sea for the most part. Now, you see on the screen right here, this is my cone of uncertainty forecast. I'll be going over that in a little bit more depth at the end of the video, as well as my hurricane intensity forecast. But let's get right into it here with starting off with the National Weather Service page. We have a lot of warnings and watches to go through here. So we have excessive heat watches in effect for this dark red region from California to Washington. We have excessive heat warnings for parts of Arizona, Nevada, and also for the southern half of California. Red flag warnings for parts of California, as well as parts of Utah, Colorado, Wyoming, Nebraska, South Dakota, and Idaho there. And then we have some heat advisories for South Dakota, and then a larger area for parts of New Mexico, Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, and Oklahoma. We have also some flash flood watches for parts of Missouri and Illinois, as well as another area from New Jersey to North Carolina and Virginia there, with some flash flood watches in effect. So here's your 5-day graphical outlook from the National Hurricane Center. We have Tropical Storm Josephine here in the Atlantic. Let's start taking a look over at the Eastern Pacific, and we have Invest 93E, which has a 70% chance of developing within the next 48 hours, and within the next 5 days, a 90% chance of developing. And then to the south and east of Invest 93E, we have Disturbance 2, named by the National Hurricane Center. They have a 70% chance of this developing within the next 5 days. We also have Tropical Depression 10E there, which is well off the sea, not really going to impact land at all. Now, let's start looking at the Central Pacific, and we have Disturbance 1 here, which is this orange region, which has a medium chance of developing, a 50% chance within the next 5 days. And then, of course, you see 10E just to the right of that right there. Now, here currently is Tropical Storm Josephine, and currently how it looks on infrared satellite. This is showing you how intense the storm is. The colder the cloud tops, or the more vibrant the colors, that means the thunderstorms that are in the storm are a bit more pronounced and are a bit stronger. So we have already those pinks and those whites and blacks. That's indicating we have a very, very strong system. So it's a decent strong system that's moving again east of the Lesser Antilles by several hundred miles. It's going to be making its way through the northern Lesser Antilles, and then into parts maybe touching Bermuda before moving out to sea. Now, here is currently where Invest 90 or Tropical Storm Josephine is. I was about to say Invest 95L because that's what I've been calling it the past couple of days, but it has been named Tropical Storm Josephine here. Also, you're going to see on the top, kind of on the heading of all these, you're going to see 11L or Tropical Depression 11. That's just because I'm making this video pretty much about half an hour after they've named it, so all the models haven't, or all the websites that I'm getting the model guidance from hasn't updated it just yet. So you're going to see Tropical Depression 11, but officially from the National Hurricane Center, it is Tropical Storm Josephine, currently 13.7 degrees north by about 49.2 degrees west. We have maximum sustained winds of 45 miles per hour, which is, I would say, about 10 miles more than we saw yesterday. So that is a big increase, and it's moving west-northwest at about 15 miles per hour or so. So here is the here's the Tropical Storm Josephine cone of uncertainty from the National Hurricane Center. They keep this as a tropical storm all the way until Sunday, where it's moving north of Puerto Rico by that point. And then by Monday and Tuesday, it's a tropical depression moving east of the Bahamas and moving straight towards Bermuda there. Now, here is the model track guidance for this. This is the main models, and most of them have a decent consensus. Really, what we don't know is after that 96-hour time period. So this is right around 96 hours. Some models bring this still staying west and northwest. Some have this making a drastic curve to the northeast. So that's something that we have to figure out. If this continues westward, this is going to make more of an impact to the Bahamas, and then it should move out to the north. But if this does move north and east, it's really not going to even impact Bermuda. So that's really the biggest question that we have right now. Now, here is the American ensemble models, and they are bringing this pretty much the same, but kind of most of these are curving this to the north and to the northeast. Here is the Canadian ensemble models, and they are bringing this a little bit more scattered, but they are bringing this to the north and northeast as well. And then here is the current European ensemble model guidance, and they are bringing this pretty much westward for a little bit longer, and then they curve this a little bit to the north. Now, here is the most likely arrival time of tropical storm force wind speeds from the storm, and probably by about Saturday. Saturday is going to be the biggest day for the northern Lesser Antilles and easternmost Puerto Rico, if this tracks closer to Puerto Rico, to get those tropical storm winds. That will be sometime between Saturday morning and about Sunday morning, depending on exactly where you are, and you have about a 5 to 20% chance of seeing those tropical storm winds. We do currently have confirmed tropical storm force winds, but to see them on land, we would have to see a shift further to the west. So that's something that we have to look out for. If this starts shifting further to the west, we are going to be seeing a little bit more in the way of tropical storm winds for the Caribbean. Now, here is the chances of seeing 58-mile-per-hour winds, and we do have a decent chance of that all offshore, but we have about a 20 to 30% chance of that occurring. Now, here's the intensity guidance for this storm, and we do have currently again those tropical storm force winds, but those are going to be kind of increasing a little bit, maybe getting even up to 45 to 55 knot wind speeds, and then it should move down a little bit and decrease wind speeds, potentially going back to a tropical depression before some of these models and most of these models see a gradual increase in the wind speeds later on in the forecast period near day 6 and day 7. So that's later on in the forecast period as it goes out near the east coast, and that's where it would be in a little bit more of a favorable environment. Now, here is your current sea surface temperatures and or the sea surface temperature anomalies, and we do have above average sea surface temperatures for the entire western Atlantic, where this is going to be tracking through. So nothing that's going to be too bad in terms of the sea surface temperatures. Now, the real issue is going to be some dry air that's going to infiltrate on the northern side of the storm, as well as some wind shear that's going to be moving pretty much across the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico, as well as the northern Lesser Antilles, and kind of stretching almost kind of like this in a northeastward manner. So it's going to kind of go through an area of unfavorable conditions, but then as it gets out to this area, it's very, very favorable for development. So it could spin up into some sort of strong system, most likely out to sea, though not really impacting any formidable land masses. Now, here is the current sea surface temperatures in terms of the actual temperatures, and they are all above the 80-degree threshold that you need or you really want for some tropical development. So we're right around I would say 85 to 90 degree Fahrenheit sea surface temperatures throughout the track of this storm. So we are prepared for some sort of storm to move through. If this were to move through this area, it would cool off the water temperatures, but it would also use all that water, all those warm waters to really develop, and that would really help this storm strengthen quite a bit. Now, here is my personal forecast. We're going to start off with the intensity forecast, and then we'll move on to the track forecast. Now, here is the here currently it is a weak tropical storm, but I do think it is going to increase to some sort of decent tropical storm, a high-end tropical storm. Then it's going to kind of plateau and kind of start to decrease its wind speeds as it starts to move into the next 2 to 4 days or so, as it starts to interact with some wind shear and also some dry air, and then it should increase again as you get past the 4-day time frame, as it starts to get past that area of wind shear and start to move into a more favorable environment into the Atlantic. Now, here is my current cone of uncertainty forecast, and I'm going to be updating this tomorrow as well, and this is only over the next 5 days, so from today all the way until the 17th is when this forecast is valid for, and This is going to be moving again throughout the northern Lesser Antilles, maybe clipping that area, maybe extreme eastern Puerto Rico, and then it should curve northward, and maybe it'll clip Bermuda, depending on exactly how the storm is going to track. But that is going to wrap it up for today's video. Again, if you do want to see that winter forecast, it's going to be coming out on the 15th, so make sure you are subscribed so that you don't miss that whenever it does come out. So again, that is going to wrap it up, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.